Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How are you, Bo?
I'm blending in with this couch, I just realized.
You really are. That's disgusting.
Shit.
Mustard Men, we are here live in Manchester, United Kingdom for a very special in-person episode with a highly anticipated, long-awaited guest, beloved friend of the show. Beloved character.
I feel I've been buried a few times.
No. That's the thing.
Josta buried me.
We're gonna get it. What do you say?
Well,
He said we should do the remixes. I forget. I love them so.
well, he also. Do you remember the one thing with Josta and you that I forgot to bring up on?
we'll tell that story for
That
sure.
one is so good.
I
dude.
tell every person that.
It's so good. But
Who do we got?
more or less, this is our good friend, Code Orange frontman, musical innovator, extreme music, science, mosh science, PhD, master's, chemistry, breakdown.
Like art degree.
Yeah, breakdown art degree, gallery opening guy. Our very good friend, Jami Morgan, Code Orange.
Thanks for having me.
Morgan.
Welcome.
Pleasure to have you, finally.
I'm happy to do it. Me and Colin did an interview. We canned it. We didn't even have a damn thing to talk about, and we just got rid of
We
it.
were just vibing.
Yeah. It was just straight.
Vibing a little too hard.
Oh, like a little too hard. I thought back and thought, not
can't use that.
my current chess move.
None of that.
You thought something's missing.
Yeah, Bishop got taken there. Queen got fucked. Anyway,
We were in the corner. Everybody, we didn't fit into the situation at all.
no.
At Aftershock.
We're barely fitting into this one, frankly.
But I would like to say something. These two are not sinking the chair. It's just for some reason the chairs that we're on have no bottom because we're in a certain land where
We're on a
things don't
continent
make sense.
where ergonomics are not.
Willy Wonka is the prime minister.
Willy Wonka, yeah, he designed it.
You want to sit down? You must stand up.
There's so many things I have to wake up here and just try to like figure out. Like I'm in some one like where the vehicle we're in, we're all walking like this. So already we're in like Tim Burton fantasy land. I'm like walking around like this the whole time. Now we're in this tiny room where all the chairs are like bent like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
We're just in like a fantastical village all the time.
We just got to make it work, you know? We've been doing it
Just for a
long time.
few more days.
You've been doing it. You've been grinding nonstop while we've been mostly sitting at home.
Yeah. I'm in the ring.
Are you
Sure.
okay? Yeah, you are. Are you okay?
I'm good, man.
Good.
I mean, I'm hurting physically a little bit, but Joe actually has a big crack in his hip. Dom's got foot surgery, just got.
Yeah.
So I keep hitting my head. So
Fuck yeah.
lot
What happened to Joe's head the other day? I wanted to ask you.
At Hellfest.
The bloody
No
head.
comment.
No comment?
No comment.
You gotta
He
watch
picked
the
the booger a
video.
little too hard or what?
He hard weighed.
Oh, did he?
Did he really?
Badass.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was real.
Oh.
It wasn't for the performance at all.
Oh, okay. He had a blade in that armband or what? A
we're the biggest-
monster branded razor blade.
We're the biggest workers who ever lived.
And you really
And the
are.
most successful
And
at working.
has that? Do you ever feel that has bit you in the ass?
No, because we are who we are. We're genuine about
Working.
what we do. We're just, you know, we care for each other. We're pretty insulated,
Yeah.
and what you see is what you get.
Do you believe in going 100% every night?
1,000%. I will.
So
every
there's
single night.
never like a thing where it's like, okay, we got Hellfest coming up. How many thousands of people watched?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot.
It was good.
They're huge.
That was awesome.
So let's say you're playing a local show before, whether you did or didn't. Let's just say hypothetically, you're playing a smaller show that maybe not that many people showed up. I know that wouldn't happen to you,
it did just happen.
but I'm just
did
saying
it twice before.
So there you go.
On this tour?
Yeah.
So do you on those sets
Hard as possible.
really?
Fuck
Die
yeah.
up there.
That's the only way to do it.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
You should. It should be.
It
I
shouldn't
won't.
be.
I
No
won't do
way.
it any
should.
other way, man. It's not on some like.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Think about the 10 Bulgarian kids that were here yesterday.
No. I'm not saying just stand there. I'm just saying you don't got to hardware yourself every
Oh.
night.
He did that. I mean,
That's
I
Hellfest
honestly,
exclusive.
I genuinely don't know how he got cut, but I just know that all of a sudden, if we're having a bad set, I look over and that fucker's cut.
That's cool. Because here's the thing.
And I'm
those-
like, I love this.
if there's 10
motherfucker.
people there, you give those 10 people something they will never forget.
I'm
so
not
they
saying-
tell 100. Like you will never guess what these.
I'm not disagreeing
It's
with
a
that,
Code
but what
Orange,
I am
dude.
saying is if you have a set coming up where potentially 10,000 people can be watching.
Oh yeah, go hard.
You don't necessarily want to break yourself before that.
I know.
Shoot your voice out.
I know, but I just can't.
Amen.
I'm addicted to
He's
it.
addicted to suffering.
I just feel, I just really want to give it. It's all we have. It's what we have. I really feel it's like we really take a lot of pride in being great live.
Yeah.
And not being great by just being sloppy and throwing ourselves around and doing front flips, but I think we're really good at sounding good and being pretty tight most of the time while still really putting in a lot of energy. And that's what I really want to. I do genuinely want to give that at every show, small or big.
I come from the same school of thought with a band that believes in a very similar philosophy.
Yeah,
and
you guys are
these
great.
knees are done.
I know, me too.
You know what I mean? So I just can't. I want people to be careful. is
No,
all
blow
I'm saying.
them knees out.
Don't do it.
Kill those knees for art.
Let's go back in time.
Let's go back in time. Do we go back to the beginning of the origin of the band?
Sure.
Tell me about old Scafinger Eric. How Code Orange kids came together when you were all the youngest lads.
So I had a band when I was like 12, and we even made a documentary, which I need to send you.
Is that true?
Yes, but it's not findable. I just watched it the other day. That's why this is fresh in my memory.
Okay.
Long story short, that band broke up. We literally played like shows with like 40-year-olds when I was like 12 years old. Like we'd play like
Were you
clubs and
still
shit.
Code Orange kids?
No, it was a different band.
Oh, wow.
So I did that band, and it was like a 3-piece like Green Day. We would cover like Green Day. We would cover like the Ramones. We would cover like just any song really that existed, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we had our own songs, and we made CDs. We were pretty over, honestly. I mean, if honestly, people know who know we were over. Like we played shows, people went insane. The ladies were going batshit. It was over. Anyway, long story short, we break up. I'm heartbroken already.
Yeah.
Start the journey heartbroken right away. And then I met Reba and a couple other kids, and we just started a new thing. We met Eric right away. And then we met Joe.
Really? It all just kind of happened like that.
Yeah.
You just
Joe
met
didn't join the band playing until we were like 19.
Yeah.
But we started when we were like 14. But he was so dedicated that when we got out of high school, we were all like, some of us are going to try to go to college. So 2-3 of us did. We moved to Philly. He moved with us.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He wasn't even in the band.
He was the Steve Zing to your Danzig.
There we go.
Joe Goldman is Steve
And he
Zing.
would mosh
Wouldn't that
and
be-
sell shit.
That's eerie.
No, Steve Zing grew up with Danzig and was like, I'm going to play in a band.
Don't
with this
question him about Danzig
Well, I
shit.
will,
he's-
because Erie Vaughn also.
Same thing.
He was the same
Danzig,
thing.
you have many. You are Danzig. You have many guys who are and girls who are.
Nah, but dude, he was just loyal soldier, and so we lost people. I remember telling Shade, I was like, we should have Joe join the band, and he goes, if Joe joins the band, I'm out.
Oh my god.
Joe was crazy.
Well, I remember the first 2 years of Code Orange, Goldman was not playing.
Yeah.
He was just going hard as fuck, and that's why it worked. And I witnessed this.
Like fake playing, you're saying?
Fake playing, but I
was
also
trying.
no. What I saw was there was a set of yours that was recorded, and before putting the bass down, the set finishes. He goes up to the engineer and goes, "Don't you fucking put that out."
Oh my god.
I've done that to Sonny like 5 times.
Boy, you have to.
I've literally gone up to Sonny. I'm like, it disappears.
That one is
It's gone.
gone.
And he's always like, yes. He's cool about it.
I told him not to put something in from the E-Tip thing we played right before COVID, and he left it in.
Yeah.
He doesn't have.
He
You don't
hates
have
it.
his respect.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten.
We're not. You ain't PA.
Anyway.
No, just his number one most viewed clip. So
Yeah,
what
the fucking
was
running
after that?
gimmick. Fucking hell.
What was after
You guys
that?
are gimmick central, man.
Yeah.
Got the running gimmick, got the cast. We got it all. We're working the fucking net.
We
I'm
were
sorry.
working.
What'd you say?
We're workers.
You think you're the only worker, brother?
What was after? So once Goldman joins, was Death Wish the first thing?
No, so we're from Pittsburgh, and especially at the time, it was very insulated, and it's a very strange mixture of music cultures, you know. So we just floated in this in between of basically knowing nothing about the outside world, which Colin can attest to,
100%.
and while still being influenced, you know, by really heavy shit, hard shit, like punk shit, weird stuff.
You knew what you wanted, but you didn't know where to find it.
So we did our own thing. We were on some real small labels. We booked our own tours, literally out of a notebook, calling people and house stuff. Joe actually helped book our first tours in like the summer after high school or in high school. I don't know.
When was high school? When did you graduate? Oh, Not to.
When would it have been? Like, I'm 30 now, so when would it have been? Probably 2012,
10, 11?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just turned 30. So yeah,
Congrats.
well,
Making it to 30.
Mazel tov.
sucks, dude. You guys know.
Yes, it does.
30's dope.
You
20.
like it?
You know what's? We say this all the time. 27 was the worst, and then
Yeah.
once I turned 30, it was like, oh, nothing matters.
I'm digging 30.
Everything's
We're
fine.
good.
I'm about to
Yeah,
be
we're good.
32. Can you believe that?
You're good. You're
We're
doing great.
36.
These are probably the best. This is the
I feel good.
two best years of your run.
I feel good.
You're on top.
But anyway, enough about me.
So did you have demos? Like how long were you putting out stuff before?
Many demos.
Many demos.
We were painting the covers. We were drawing. It's
Many
all the
genres.
same shit as now. Many
Yeah.
ideas. But we met. Just to jump back, like we met Shade just by like posting shit on MySpace, and he commented, he's like, "I'm in your same high school. I like ska." And
He
I'm like,
loves ska.
Met him the next day.
Holy
so
shit.
he kind of did. He only really knew like Operation Ivy and like.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the fuck was going on. We were doing hardcore shows, we were doing punk shows, we were doing house shows, we were
Yeah.
playing with the Menzingers in
Yeah.
a basement.
Yeah.
We used to play with them in a basement like every weekend, like
Right.
at this guy's house. We would throw like parties like when we were 15.
Mm-hmm.
Then we were doing shit with my buddy, who now runs the big venue in Pittsburgh, Preserving. He was driving us around. Just a amalgamation of strange things combined,
Mm-hmm.
until we kind of got spit out into the real world.
And that carries through
And
to
then the
today.
Cycle 7-inch.
Exactly.
Cycle 7-inch was before the first LP, right?
Yes. We kind of had a little group of, we had this tape and we had that 7-inch and we had a split, and like kind of the same way we do now, they all had like kind of a threaded
Yeah.
continuity.
Gotcha.
The split song. With what was like a 4-way split?
That's one of one we did.
Dude,
with-
that song rocks.
you like that song?
Oh my god.
That was
you
a
gotta
Tiger Jaw
re-record it.
and shit. Tiger Jaw and
Oh yeah.
Defense and World is a Beautiful Place.
Which was a good move doing that because you got him, dude.
Dude, I didn't know. I just knew the people. And
Yeah.
we were with, that's another one. We were with Tiger's Jaw every other weekend at this place in Ohio. And I became good friends with Adam from Tiger's Jaw. And so it was very organic in that way. And then we did the one with Full of Hell as well. So right in that time period, and that all led up to that first LP. And then I think after the Full of Hell and the Cycles one is when we went to Death Wish.
Gotcha.
Because you were on first LP when at that first This Is Hardcore where we played back to back, and that was where it was like I got a taste of you musically, and it was like, damn, they're pretty hard, they're a pretty hard band. That I didn't expect that. Yeah,
I think I got a taste. It was you guys played the Bottom Lodge in Chicago, Terror, Backtrack. You guys, I don't
that was
remember
much
who
later,
else.
right?
No, couldn't
That was
have been.
later than
That was
I
post
don't
I Am
know.
King.
Maybe that was in the no. It was before. He's right. All that shit with Terror we did was going into that record.
They opened.
Because that was
like
when.
brand new.
So you guys were outcasts from childhood to
Still are.
well,
100% still are.
but there was a period.
There was a
It
period.
was literally a year. 1 year.
No,
1 year and a half. I was feeling the rumblings about a year and a half into it. I was like, it's over already.
no, it was
you're back
longer.
in.
I can tell you, just peripherally, it was
Yeah.
longer. It's longer than that. But like, you guys were so undeniable at your craft that the people that outcast you cast you back in.
It's
You
like,
know,
get back.
it was like, damn, this band they're playing Magic. In the back of the show, and then they go out and they're playing the hardest riffs of the night.
I distinctly remember at that Bottom Lounge show, I didn't really watch you guys. Friends were in town, blah blah blah. Then our tour in Europe, we played Fluff Fest. The three of our bands
yeah.
played together.
That was fun.
And I watched you guys, and that was 2013.
It was.
And that was when I was like, oh, that was like my.
That's right after that LP came out.
And
Yes.
so that all makes perfect sense.
That was the year where we really hit it off.
Yes.
And I remember the moment. Do you remember the moment?
The New England thing?
New England
Yeah.
Metal Hardcore Fest.
remember.
I watched them from the balcony.
Yeah.
Tears in my eyes.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. I wasn't alone in this.
Yeah.
My jaw was gaped. For lack of a better word.
Sean,
truly.
control yourself.
It was. I'm tearing up now just thinking
Yeah.
about it. Because I see these
I remember this.
little fucking forest nymphs.
Yeah.
These little freaks.
Yeah.
These 3 shirtless guys and the coolest girl that's ever
Mm-hmm.
existed.
Rocking.
Dude. And then I'll never forget it. Because the part is on I Am King, but you play it differently than you did at the show. The dun dun dun, dun dun.
Oh, yeah, we were still working on it. Yeah. No.
And it was. I remember just hearing that and being like, "This is what they fucking sound like."
Yeah. Okay.
Thinking
I
like,
got you.
what do they like?
I remember that.
Who is this?
Yeah.
We were starting to infuse at that point going into that record. It's kind of complicated, but we were like infusing. Even that record has little bits of hard breakdowns, you know.
It does.
But they're put in a strange way, you know. And so we were playing with the idea of adding some simpler but hard elements in there as well. And so during the sets, we would just throw random parts into other songs.
It was awesome.
We would be practicing all the time.
Yeah.
So we'd be practicing so much that it was like we were trying to find stuff to do in the set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's one thing I would love to talk about is I don't know if people know how dedicated you guys were from the rip.
Thank you.
From my awareness of you as a unit, I remember hearing that like nobody, like you guys just did the band. How long has the band been like full time?
The day it started.
Yeah.
I mean, it's since I was 14.
And like that's not hyperbole.
No,
Like,
you
that's-
had a Josta like
Yeah.
self assurance that it was like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That is how I felt. That's kind of how I still feel in a different way.
Would you guys practice like every day? Like if
Yes.
you're off of a touring cycle or whatever, you're at home for a month,
We would, yeah.
you'd practice
A
every
lot,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we just felt that we just always felt up against it in different ways. So it was always like, all right, we just need to be the best, you know, and do what hopefully we did to him, which is like maybe make people peek through the glass window a little more and look a little deeper into it because they're just kind of like, whoa, you know,
Yeah.
this is something. They don't know what it is, but it's something.
The performance was so visceral and different that I had to like just talk to them.
I see.
He did. He came right up after the set.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
It was
And
awesome.
I was like, I have to know you.
Interesting.
Then we hung out all day, I think.
all day, yeah.
In Worcester?
In Worcester. I showed them in Love There's No Law before it was out.
We had literally
Damn.
no friends.
Wow.
Literally none.
I was like, I
only Pittsburgh.
need to know all of you.
and random
Yeah.
other weird people.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
We had
yeah.
a circle of strange individuals, but they were like one of the first bands from the more traditional hardcore scene, though their band is not traditional at all.
No,
obviously,
yeah, we know what you
but they were involved in that, and it was cool. It was like we just wanted to make friends pretty much with like-minded people who are also kind of, I think we connected because they felt they were on the in but on the out, still are.
Yeah.
Different now in this
Always.
moment, but they were on a similar path to what we were on in terms of people not necessarily being able to look at it and take it at face value. There are brief periods where people do,
Yeah.
but the rest of it is kind of built by. And your band is sort of there.
I
I would
identify
say
with
it's a
parts of
little
that.
different.
Yeah.
I think maybe even solely because of James and stuff, something about that. But
You can't be that sexy and like, no.
yeah, I don't know what
There's
it is.
nothing to get.
No,
brother.
But your band's in there too,
Yeah.
There's parts
especially
of it. There's parts of it that I would say we identify with.
There's
for
ebbs and
sure.
flows.
Yeah.
Always.
So just being like kind of feeling outcasted and then being able to kind of meet people who had a like mind, liked some of the stuff we liked, some of the stuff we liked, they were like, what the fuck are you
So
talking
then
about?
so then I had to put you on.
You know what?
Put
it
it- yeah,
is?
absolutely.
None of us were playing New York hardcore.
It's really, I mean,
Not that there's
yeah.
anything wrong with
We
New York
sure as hell
hardcore,
weren't.
but-
That's for
but,
damn
like,
sure.
All three of
Yeah.
our bands were not in this vein. That, especially at the time.
There was also no metalcore
decade,
leaning
right.
bands
Yeah,
except
no.
us and y'all.
Yeah.
And they weren't, but it was a little bit of a different thing. And there was Incendiary kicking around doing a different style of that, but there was no bands that were young.
No, if
doing
you
that
were weird
style.
in any way,
Yeah.
you were not on the main tours with the bands.
Yeah, that's-
we didn't do a proper support tour until 2017
Who was that with?
with like No Warning.
Yeah.
The Life and Death was our first like normal support tour,
We did Terror for $75 and it was pretty hard.
but it was dope, right?
Yeah.
it was probably awesome.
It was great. I mean, the first 2 weeks were hard, but on that tour, it was Terror, it was Backtrack.
Yeah.
Dan Seeley from King 9 was the merch guy.
Yeah.
A bunch of those guys were just there.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 2 weeks, no one said a single solitary word to us at all the whole time. And then there was ice broken, and then we all became really tight.
James Vitalo broke the ice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you
He
do?
knows.
Oh,
You
we
know.
can't talk about it.
Bushido code of honor, brother. But
But there was definitely a hey. moment, you know?
Yeah,
Tough catch.
we're good
Yeah,
now.
where Jimmy brought you in.
And I'm still close with a lot of those people. Dan Seeley has basically kept up with us our entire path. When I'm in New York, he's there. When we play Brooklyn, he's there. When we're literally doing stuff for the label, he came to eat with us in the label when we signed the label, which is us, him, and the label, like, and we signed the fucking shit.
He's a king.
So that's one of my brothers. So we met some people that we've stayed. Martine from Terror. I've stayed close with him the whole time. He's just came to our show in LA. So some of those people we still stay really close with. So it was a great experience.
Then you had a statement to make with the next one.
And what a statement it was.
Good God, did
Lord.
you? And I, like, straight up, I was along with you for this entire ride.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
right.
like.
You were all the way to the next record as well because you came on. I literally either you were putting us on a tour, or I was putting you on a tour for the whole 4 years.
The whole thing. So, watching I Am King take place, workshopping the title with you,
You showed us the record, I remember, in the van outside the Bee Kitchen.
telling you not to cut Reba's hair for the album art.
Brother, don't go dirt cheat on me, brother.
But
That's a brother warning. Strike one.
they didn't. It's Goldman on there, you know, and that was the perfect move.
Yeah.
No, we would just experiment the same way we would now with different ideas of how to. We wanted to present, and it's really not an image. It's more we wanted to present like an aesthetic idea.
Yeah.
The same thing we do now. It's like, so he used to make fun of me so bad for what I'd be wearing and stuff during those times. But we would, we wanted to look different.
Yeah.
We wanted it to feel different to people. I started to, connect. Even before that, we did as well, but in a different way.
Yeah.
But we connected like, okay, what do like a lot of the bands we like have in common? Okay, they make this great music. Okay, they have art that has like synergy to it and matters. The way they look even kind of matters for us. That's not everyone's path.
Yeah.
But and so we would consider those things in the process and think of like, okay, what are cool things we could do to kind of evolve it in hopefully a way that is really natural to what we all like and what we're inspired by, but also is like presents as a unit.
Yeah.
We don't want to present as not a unit because to me it's just like I don't like that. When I see that, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want to see bands personally, that are just it's like all different. We don't have to be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But we should exist in the same universe.
Yeah,
Sure.
because
Be on the same threshold.
There is a fine line between that, which
And
I
a
agree with,
costume.
and like Anthrax wearing matching shit on stage or something.
Shout out to Scott Ian. That's my boy.
No, it's an example.
I
They
feel
used
you,
to
though.
wear the pentagram, whatever.
That was also the thing I was always so confused with because we've always gotten shit for that stuff, but I think we get shit selectively because literally I can point to almost like look at Slayer, look at Typo Negative, look at Anthrax, look at Slipknot, look at Nine Inch. Name a band in the whole thing that anybody gives a fuck
It's
about.
just
it's
the
you guys.
Yeah.
You
I
did the
wore
same
some
shit.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I'll
wore
gimmick up all
And
day.
them
dude.
other guys, when they left, they don't be doing the same shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's an unspoken thing, but
Sure.
I feel like it's part of it. So I don't.
Absolutely.
It was always apparent that there was never a second in the history of your band that I was aware of where it seemed like you were like unsure
yeah.
of like where you were going. It always seemed like whatever was coming out, it was
You already had the next thing.
Step 4 of 10. Like it was like, yeah, you're almost there, kind of a thing.
That is kind of how I feel. I appreciate you saying that. It's hard to know what people pick up on it as, but I do think about these things in advance always.
I mean, sure, there was, like you said, there was always synergy with what the album art was, the videos were. You were one of the first bands I think I know who worked with Max Moore. And there
You
was
had pyro in your video?
Yeah, a lot of
Max
stuff.
Moore,
with
that was his second video. His first ever video was his brother. His twin brother's band,
his
who we
twin.
toured with.
Yeah.
Our first U.S. tour. That's how we met him, and then he did our video, and he's done every one of our videos since.
Wow.
I think he did ours third, like after your one. That was
awesome.
the Mind Control video, and that's
And he's fucking
Probably
on
why.
top of the world now.
Yeah.
He's great,
He's
man.
like
He's
the
so
video
talented.
guy.
I just
He's
worked
very
with him
good.
recently. He's so talented. man.
awesome. But so like, do you guys have a fucking like whiteboard somewhere where it's like, all right, by the end of this in 5 years,
This is
hold
the
on,
whiteboard.
by the end of this in 5 years, we're gonna make a website where people have to figure out clues. But first,
Yeah, I can.
Joe's gonna shave his head. You know what I mean? Like, how does that?
It's not all so unnatural. There's a lot of things that happen organically, of course, and everyone has input on the direction it goes. But Yeah, I don't even always cue everyone into everything because I think it stresses them out. So it's better, like, in terms of, again, we're kind of speaking without speaking, but in terms of like certain elements of it, it's not like everyone in the band always has to fully be, because you don't want it to feel contrived. And I'm always taking in input from them, especially as we've gotten older. It's gotten so much better to where it's being built around what everybody really wants to do. You know what I mean? Or like what they're telling me in our conversations. I try to find a roundabout way to get there for them as well. You know, when it comes to things aesthetically, you know, obviously music is a different story, but I think I have in my, I mean, on what we're doing now, I got 4 notebooks full. I got a picture board in my room. I got a whiteboard in my room.
So yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But a lot of it's in my head, but I write it all down, and I keep things digitally and I keep things physically, so that if anything like happens, I kind of have both. I started doing that
Smart.
2 records ago because I
got if my iPhone Notes app goes away, I got nothing.
I have a lot of notes as well,
Yeah.
you know, but they'll just be things I'll just kind of watch other art as like almost research. So
way to do it.
Books, movies. TV.
Whenever writing, I have the first instinct to like stop listening to things so I don't get like too inspired and subconsciously take something. And then I realize that like shutting myself off from the art I'm trying to make is like the worst thing. Like you need to be constantly consuming.
It's a hard balance, man, because sometimes it can be really hurtful. So
how dare you write that riff before me?
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's so much like weird synergy in the air with things, and what I really try to do is like I try to pull things together from opposite ends of the spectrum so that I feel pretty confident that the amalgamation we're going to make, or like our composite, will have its own corner, so that even if there's other things that end up coming out that are similar, it'll have a place on its own, because there's no way somebody's putting this together with that.
That's true.
That's kind of always been the way that I've thought about it.
What is the most out there, off the wall thing you've pulled inspiration from musically?
Damn, that's a good question. I don't know.
I can tell you mine off the rip.
Tell me.
Dude. Barry White.
Nice, love it. That's great. Yeah,
I have heard you say that.
It's a real thing.
You could get something from
Note for note, dude. into a hard pit.
I'll be watching movies in the theater, and I will walk out and go into the bathroom and write shit down.
Yeah.
I do it, man. You do that too?
His voice memo app is
great.
It's
dude,
a war
the
zone.
6 feet deep bridge is Batman vs Superman score.
Dude, I got fucking buried after we watched Batman and Superman.
Why?
Because I said the fights were pretty good.
Movie's awesome.
Okay.
Movie's awesome. The ultimate cut.
I'm gonna brother shake
is
you.
awesome.
I'm gonna brother shake you because I don't agree.
The movie's awesome.
But I'll say this. The fight is fire. And I remember being in the parking lot with my boys, and I was like, well, Batman and Superman fought. That was pretty good. We haven't seen that. And they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, they fought in it.
The theatrical cut is not great, but the ultimate cut, the 3-hour version, is great.
Looks better than The Flash. I just saw The Flash. I'll tell you
what were they doing, dude?
Fucking hell. It's Shade could have made it.
So-
I mean, Shade might as well have
I
made
wish he did.
He might as well have made The Flash, man.
Jesus
it's gonna look.
Christ.
The Flash looks like what's on the screen behind us tonight.
100%.
It's just video game guys.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's
I Am King comes out. One thing that I've actually always wanted to ask you was, and something that I don't know of any other band, especially in our world, doing, is switching lineups, switching around, moving around. We'll get to the later one, the more recent one, but at that time, that was like kind of wild to put Goldman in the center,
All right.
who isn't singing, who's just spin kicking like a motherfucker. Shade was still playing guitar fully, and Reba singing and playing guitar, and you still singing, playing drums. Like, was that just a like, we got to do something different? Was it something that was like, did Reba feel like stepping aside? Did it make more sense stage logistically to have Joe in the middle?
Well, he had a certain kind of energy that we thought
Yeah.
could bridge the gap between myself and the crowd. So it was like we were trying to work in conjunction.
So you're
as
moving
one
forward.
It was like me. It was like the three of us, especially, were one person.
You were sending him
Because I am
the
king.
signal. He
No,
was sending.
I don't know if it's because I am king.
But you know what I'm saying?
The
Like
royal
that
eye.
was the eye.
The royal
like
eye.
Yeah,
each
we are
person.
I.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
and that's what we're a unit.
real Rasta type mentality.
But just from a logistical perspective, it was like I can't connect with the crowd properly, I can talk and I'm writing the lyrics and so that makes sense for me to do one thing, but he had a physical presence also at the time that I thought was like very odd, but also really unique.
Very unique.
And she had one as well, but it didn't so much suit in that spot. So we shuffled up, and then every time we go into a new thing, we're really never thinking like, let's change the lineup again.
Yeah.
We're just like, okay, how do we get an inch closer to connecting the way that we want to connect based on like what the music is? How do we just tweak the whole thing a little more to be better? Right. It's just always about trying to be better. That's usually our mentality. And I don't think everyone in my band would think of it that way for sure. There's definitely different perspectives. But for me, it's like, what's the best thing? What's the void? Fill the void, whether it's in music or whether it's in our own internal performance.
Yeah.
How do we bridge that gap?
Yeah, I love that.
Did you ever think of the weirdest thing you've ever pulled inspiration from?
I genuinely can't, brother.
It'll come to you.
Give me one wacky thing where you were like, I'm stealing that.
I was walking around Home Depot and you'll hear the song as our entrance music. I heard a nice little song playing as our entrance, so you'll see.
Okay.
There's a Running Man version of that. How long did touring on I Am King? Now, was the Twitching Tongues Code Orange tour that took over the world, was that I Am King?
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And boy,
let's talk about that.
Good God, dude!
Like, we played the Chicago.
Finally,
show,
both had crowds, first time ever.
and we played the Chicago show, so I saw it. I saw a snapshot of that time period where everything kind of Venn diagrammed. You know,
it's crazier how much bigger the shit is now, just in general. But at the time, like even what we were doing, it was like, I felt like even the promoters were like, I can't believe there's people here.
I know.
We're
just like overall.
Filling up rooms.
Yeah, there's rooms where there's actually people.
Yeah.
It was that was me witnessing like, oh my God, this is there. Like that was a co-headline.
You fucking killed it too,
for
though.
no reason. Like that was our best tour for sure.
You killed it too because we had the crowd had a synergy.
It did.
And there was lots of people that you were bringing in the door who maybe had heard that we were catching fire, but really didn't know like what the deal was. So I didn't feel that way. I felt like, were we kind of hot at the time? Yeah.
Big
but
time.
at the same time, your sets were always killer.
But I'm just telling you, objectively, what I witnessed on that was like, I was like, I am watching the rise of the great white shark, you know, coming to eat the rest of the
power.
world.
It's raw power.
Could not believe it. And the record was so good that it was like, this record is so good, this tour has to be good.
That's awesome.
And like still thinking about the pit parts on I Am King.
Scary.
Some of the best modern mosh parts ever written.
I think we brought back also which I'm not advocating necessarily. I know you have a gimmick of it, but we brought the violence back to the crowd.
Yeah.
Like there was a period where people were ready for it, so it crescendoed at the right time. But for some reason, our band, I felt like,
I can tell you why.
yeah,
There's no frontman.
yeah, that might be part of it.
So it's like I have to go hard as fuck because I can't. You and Code Orange and Nails, you cannot sing along to. You can only beat ass to.
So it would get
just
crazy.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
There was a couple years there where it was borderline stressful. It was like every show was and people weren't so used to it as they are now. It's not like now where I walked like me and my buddy Joe Sanderson from Eternal Sleep. I remember like 4 or 5 years ago or more, we were watching that band Lifeless, and we were watching a guy go to the crowd and he was just punching people right in the face, and we were both like, that, like, even in Pittsburgh, people mosh hard, but I wouldn't just look you in the eyes and punch you in the face, because that's called fighting.
Yeah.
So it would be a little
swagless.
We were both
behavior.
like, what's going on? But it had crescendoed to where it was a little before that even, and it goes in cycles, of course. It's been like that in the past.
Yeah.
But there would be a lot of fights too. There was just a lot of chaotic energy, and then the funniest part is I feel like you pan to the stage and you look at who's up there, and we're all wearing like rags. Remember the rags era? Or wearing Goodwill, like just anything
Goodwill,
from Goodwill.
like striped rags.
Just like, and I loved, at the time, I loved that juxtaposition. I was like, I loved the idea.
It was cacophonous. It was visibly cacophonous.
It was also
It was cool.
the moment of good dear friend Brody King beating ass and becoming semi-viral at the time.
Yeah.
With the jerseys were happening. That was like this is hardcore. That was your this is hardcore.
Oh yeah.
I walked those jerseys around to everybody, dude.
Yeah.
Like, again, and this is a very Pittsburgh thing. I remember on our first tour, my buddy who runs a venue, who's one of my kind of like old heads, he gave us our seat. He brought us in a corner. We were doing terrible. This is before we knew anybody. And he gave us all the CDs, and he was like, you're going to go up to every person in here and try to sell, like homeless people, and sell them the CDs. And until we sell every CD, we're not leaving. And we went and we sold every one of those CDs.
Wow.
And I would take that mentality. So like with the jerseys or with the, we would just do stuff. We would lose money on that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm gonna get these fucking jerseys on everybody, because then when we do this shit, it'll be a thing.
And it was.
And then it was a thing, and we would utilize that mentality in different ways, you know, because it wasn't. There was natural movement, but no one was coming to pick us up from Pittsburgh and get us over.
Right.
We had to get ourselves over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had to. It was do or die.
And you did.
I really
Thank
think you are the example of that, because even, you know, love you as I do, you're from a place where if a band gets made, people are going to watch.
Yeah.
And his brother was in a band that was popping as well, but
And-
but at the same
he
time,
he made his own kingdom as well.
Don't take that.
you know how long it took us.
Of
at home.
course I do.
Home was last
but there
to
are
catch on.
But
mean,
there are a lot of bands.
LA, yeah.
There's 7 shows a night. You know, you gotta compete constantly.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely.
But
We were
being
sorry.
from Pittsburgh,
yeah.
you know,
It's tough.
it's very tough.
You did it.
When that was all going on, were you already planning for forever?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was
Sick.
I was going by the time it came out. I mean,
You already had the red color scheme.
oh yeah. I mean,
down.
I tweak it. It's not. I'm not going to be on some
That's true.
ego shit. I tweak the fuck out of it. I don't have like. I'm not sure that this is the thing. It's like I have the pieces.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
utilize the tools around me and my bandmates 100% in every way. People around me, friends.
I remember some alternate album titles that I'm.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I float things, and I'm not always right, and I'm a lot of times not right. But I try to. I have the pieces. I can see the idea,
Right.
And that's something. You know, I don't have the finished product always, but that one was an easier one to figure out. The second one,
Because you kind of knew what worked.
I like that you call it the second one.
Yeah.
the third
No.
one. That's the prequels
No, yeah.
to me.
Agreed.
That's episode 1, 2, and
Dude,
3.
we're
That's
the
the
Phantom
old
Menace.
shit. Yeah,
We're the
exactly.
same way.
Yeah.
Where this reality approaches is the prequel.
I changed the name for that reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't even because necessarily the kids element that factored in, but it was more so like
Different band.
different art style. That was really the primary thing. I was like, we need to do a different art style, and I figured, which we have done and are continuing to do, we would bring some of the things from the early stuff back around eventually. It was like with the first one, I thought we'll rebuild the house real basic, and we'll build the foundation and put the dirt in and start to build it, so then we can go back and rope them back into what we were doing before. You know what I mean? Not that I didn't love that shit. I did, but it was like simple, a little bit more. That's been the plan. And it works sometimes. It doesn't work sometimes. But, you know, we had to rebuild the house. It had come to, it was going as far as it was going to go. You know what I mean? So that was the plan.
Was Bleeding on Forever?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was, for me, when I love grunge and alternative stuff.
Me too.
I love Alice in Chains. When I heard that, it was a very exciting thing for me as like your friend. You know what I mean? Like regardless of music, I was like, oh shit, they did something like seriously out of the
They
box.
went from like writing an amazing hardcore album to writing like a famous rock song.
Yeah.
Not so famous, but, you know.
Oh come on. Depends on who you ask.
I mean, it had to be the most played
I
for
think
a long
if
time,
you ask
right?
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he'd say it's a famous song.
Hey, at the time, it's all about at the time.
Yeah.
I don't really think too many other people were doing that.
No,
So,
no.
that's what.
I don't know.
And
Grammy nominated.
Pardon this interruption. We've got to stop and talk to you about some beautiful ads. First off, it is AG1 time.
woo! Did
I
you take your greens today, brother?
oh my god, dude! I've been really consistent with my AG1,
Yeah.
and I've been eating not great lately since I got
Yeah.
home. I feel so good
I take it every day.
every
Every
day,
morning.
dude. Every morning I start. I've been because it's so hot here. I've been starting with AG1 Liquid IV combo back to back. Dude, I feel incredible lately.
Yeah. We've said it before. I don't know what I was missing, but it was something.
It's in there, and
it's
you
in
can
here
get
somewhere.
it at athleticgreens.com/hardlore. You get 5 free of those travel packs, which came so in handy
Yeah,
while we were
yeah,
international.
absolutely. I'm not flying without them.
No. And a year supply of the vitamin D drops. AG1 is the GOAT. We love working with them. I really hope that we get to do it forever so that we can keep drinking it forever.
Yep.
That's what the game was missing. It is also Manscaped time, baby.
You
know
scape
damn
your
well.
man lately?
Not today, a couple days ago.
Dude, I am scaped to the gills.
You're
I'll tell you
scaped up?
what. I'm scaped up, dude. Wow. I love Manscaped. I've literally used like every product except for the beard stuff because I don't have a beard. But man, that body scrubber, I'm telling you.
Body scrubber's unbelievable. The body wash is like my daily driver, dude.
Yeah. That's exactly how I treat it. I have my fancy body wash and then my daily driver.
My daily
That's
driver.
exactly
And
smells
honestly,
great.
the Manscaped one smells. I get a lot of compliments on the Manscaped one. And then when guys are my thing at the gym and whatnot, when some guy is my thing, he's always like, dude, this smells so good. What is that? And I go, that's the Manscaped Crop Reviver, brother. Check it out.
Christ.
I love that. I use
Code
the
HardLore.
Preserver and the Reviver every day. Code HardLore for 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped. It's whatnot time, baby.
Oh, our triumphant return.
Triumphant return. Should we do it while you're here together?
Yeah, exactly. I'm bringing my stuff. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, HardLore is back on whatnot next week. The best place to buy and sell new and used hardcore memorabilia. We're on there. Brody King's on there. Danhausen's on there. Lars Fredrickson's on there. You can get so much stuff there. Post Malone is doing stuff on there.
So much stuff. So much stuff for you.
So much stuff for you. So much stuff for me. We're going to get the coolest stuff. We're going to sell some really cool stuff next week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a live HardLore episode that airs one time.
Yeah, you never get to see it. You just get to participate.
So don't miss it, man. Also, our buddies at a little band called Slipknot.
Oh.
You ever heard of it? Wanted us to let you know that their live at Madison Square Garden exclusive vinyl variants are available now. On February 5th, 2009, Slipknot headlined the world's greatest arena, Madison Square Garden. And on August 18th, next month, 818, baby.
What?
The concert will be made available for the first time on a 2LP with exclusive packaging and colorways to celebrate the 15th anniversary of All Hope Is Gone. Check it out now at the link in our description.
Very nice.
And since this is a Code Orange episode,
yeah,
and this episode is coming out the day after their record is getting announced, I figured we'd stop and tell you about it because it's available. They didn't even ask me to do this, so I'm just
they're just buds.
We're really nice guys. The record is called The Above, and it's available September 29th on Blue Grape Music. You familiar with that date, Bo?
That's fucking yeah. I'm familiar with that date. For anybody who missed it, the Harm's Way record, Common Suffering, is coming out the very same day. So.
Huge day for aggressive rock music. Back to this episode.
First Grammy nomination.
Yeah.
On Forever.
Yeah.
Tell me about that day.
I was happy. That's one of the few days of my life I've been happy.
And today, of course.
Today is
right
not,
now
is
at
not
this moment.
No,
I
you're
love
good.
doing this with you.
We're good, dude.
No, but yeah, I was happy. I was like, okay, box checked. Something achievement unlocked.
I'm sorry. Did you record Forever with Will?
No, what happened
That was
we
later.
recorded the true story, and he'll be down with this. Is we recorded it with Kurt Ballou. I didn't properly communicate to him as we were doing it what it was really going to be in the end. Mm-hmm. So we did the band. We get to the end of that, and I'm like, brother, there's a whole another half of shit we're gonna have to chuck on this thing. And he was like, what? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, he's like, we're out of time. He's like, I gotta wipe the physical board for the next band coming in. And I was like, pause. Don't. So me and Shade, and I know maybe me and Joe actually, I called Will, who I had met through doing our Adventures album. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, if we drive to Philly right now, it was like the middle of the night, could we make something that's like a template that we'll send to Kurt that then he can copy the mix off of in terms of the leveling of everything?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And Will my brother, was like 100%.
He's the man.
Drove there in the middle of the night, did that, sent it to him.
God.
He put it together, and then he was like, I'm wiping it off the board. It's done. We were like, all right, sorry. Actually, Reba had to ask him because he said no to me.
Yeah. Reba went in for the soft. Come on.
The puppy dog eyes.
So went in like a soldier.
Wow, unbelievable.
And then, but that wasn't his fault. It was just I wasn't good yet. I actually think what we're doing now, I'm a lot better at it, like communicating the ideas to the people who are going to be helping do them, instead of just like as we go, kind of.
And then we'll do this, and then
Yeah.
we'll do this, and then we'll do this.
So like you had a rocket attached to the band from I Am King. What was touring on the follow-up, which is really hard to do. A follow-up that's successful
But it
is
was
very
a follow-up that was way more
successful,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
amazing.
So what was that like? What was touring on that like? What were the changes you were seeing?
It was good and bad. The stuff we did by ourselves was awesome. We dipped our toes into like the support world, and we had a couple that were just really hard because we were first playing to nobody.
Yeah.
And it was tough.
Doors at
People
6:30, set
people
at 6.
do not realize
Literally.
that when you get on some of the bigger tours, not naming names, sometimes you're playing when doors open.
Yeah.
That's what we did on one of those tours. We played when the doors open, so we would play sometimes to 5 or 10 people.
Jesus
so it just gets your mind going in a certain way. And we had some great shows. What's really interesting about that period is like we did that run, and then me again being like thinking forward, I was like, okay, we need to make the next one. And so we really buckled down early, probably
Jesus
really earlier
Christ.
than we should have. Because again, we did the Mayhem Fest where there was a stage of
Right.
there was a stage of Victory Records bands, and Victory had paid to put them on. So we played at 11 a.m. and everybody else played after us the whole tour. So we would be, and it was a bus route tour. We were in a van. We were sleeping in the van in the parking lot, waking up, playing to nobody, selling nothing. That one burnt us a bit.
Yeah.
That was on towards the end of I Am King, actually.
Oh, okay.
Then, we Get Forever, put some really cool mixed stuff together. We had shows. We did 2 Forever tours. One had like Lifeless, and then like Nicole Dollinger,
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah, I
Youth
remember
Code,
that.
and
Yeah, I
like
remember
Laid to Rest,
Yeah.
and Vain when they first started.
Yeah, yeah.
And then one had Twitching, Ghostmane was on
Ghostmane,
with
yeah.
the Phase. So I was trying to like put those things on.
That was
together.
awesome.
That was
cool, right?
Yeah.
And so we did that, and then we were like, all right, time to go again, get back in there and make something classic. And then we really put our nose to the grindstone, and we were ready to just come out with it. And then COVID, so we took like
Yeah, man.
almost
Oh my!
yeah,
We got to
Truly,
talk about
truly.
that.
Please.
That was underneath, right?
That's the third one.
Okay.
I think you guys are like the biggest victims of the pandemic.
As a matter of fact.
100% factual. Like the way I know firsthand, I've seen
Yeah.
what you put into an album personally and as a band. And to have I can't think of a band who had more taken away from them.
Because there were others at the time. I remember Knocked Loose had put out a record, but they got to tour.
Yeah.
Acacia Strain had put out a new record.
lot of bands
They
did, I
got to
think.
tour. Like a lot were like lucky. And
March 13th, baby.
Yeah, the day the world shut down.
Want to know why? I go, it's got to come out on Friday the 13th. Because the last one came out on Friday the 13th. And then we got Friday the 13th to fuck.
You really
and I will
did,
never put out an album on Friday the 13th again.
So the plan was to have a hometown record release show. What was the cap of that venue?
1,200.
1,200 people. Hometown show.
Yeah.
The most stressful.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if those don't sell,
Oh my God.
it's the worst.
We sold that fucking thing out. Yeah.
And believe me, I know that felt good. So what is the time? Like, how quick did you have to pivot from
live stream
a
thing?
normal show to one of the coolest
Oh my God.
things?
You pioneered the live stream era of music.
Kind of made what we're
I don't
doing
know.
happen, if you really...
Oh, thank you.
100%.
Well,
I really appreciate you guys saying all that.
It got me into Twitch, which got... Well,
Remember
I was already into
Hey,
Twitch,
you
but it
helped
like
us with
got
that.
me... Yeah,
Thank
of
you,
course.
man.
But then it kind of... You know what
He
I'm saying?
helped
Like,
me with that.
domino
and then
effects
I
got us
asked
here.
him to do this.
I can name some other domino effects as well
sure.
that are even more interesting, where it's not like hatership, and I'm just like, wow, I genuinely feel like, but that's life. But there's
Yeah.
some stuff where I'm like, if we didn't do that, like this big thing that I know would never have happened
Right.
because of that.
That's why I
But
bit my...
that's just life.
That's why I
you
bit
know?
my tongue about Bleeding in the Blur.
Dude, there's all kinds of
is,
shit. I mean, that's what I can't. This is the thing about me I've had to learn. It's like I can't want deeply to innovate and then also always be mad that we did, because innovating creates doors for other people.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I feel like we've been able to create doors for other people for sure.
I don't think anybody can deny that.
Thank you.
I don't
And
think
there's
that's
times where that can be really frustrating because when you're in a band like mine, or he can relate to this too, there's been good periods for us. We did sell that show out, but we've struggled the whole time. We always struggled for every ticket, every sale. We never had a tour. The tour sold out, or the record's selling crazy. It was like, okay, it did pretty good. Like, how do we get to the next thing? It's always the lily pad. We've never had one single solid. The biggest jump we ever had was from 0 to 200. I am king. Every other jump has been a stitch by stitch by stitch, and so we're kind of exposed in that way. You know what I mean? Like people. It can be difficult, but what were the fuck
March 13th, you find out that no one can physically come to the show.
Yeah.
Your hometown sold-out record release show for the fourth but third record. How quickly do you have to go from normal show to calling Sonny, getting the live stream shit figured
inventing,
I
out?
called Sonny that day.
Yeah.
3
Like
days.
that
2 days.
morning? 2 days?
Yeah.
2
like,
days.
Because I was holding on to hope the show was going to happen.
Yeah.
And me and Andy from Every Time I Die was supporting us, which is a really big thing at the time. And they, they were still probably more popular than us, but they were doing it.
Doing the job.
Some brother shit.
Yeah.
And so Andy and me were trying to, maybe we could do it outside. We were still trying to figure it out. When that died, I was like, all right, so let me think. And I was talking to my mom, and my mom was like, you need to do something that you film. Like, and I was like, Mom, you don't know how this shit works. I'm like,
Wait a
that's
minute.
impossible. And then I hung up and I was like, and I called Sonny. And he was the first person I called. And I said, could this be possible? He said, yeah. I called the label. Loved the label, but they were just like, I don't fucking know. But I was like, is there anything you can do
Could we
to
have
help?
some money?
A little bit, but
Yeah.
not there, but not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
So called the local promoter. Reba started calling people. I remember we were all at practice. We sat outside. I remember at the same practice space. And we all split off on our phones and started calling people. And then Shade had made this whole visual show for the tour because we were going to have screens for the tour. And so we were like, okay, like that's the key. We need to find like somebody who can cut that stuff into the show.
Yep.
And then I brought the idea of like, and then the kicker is we show the empty arena. We do it like wrestling because
Yeah.
I'm a big wrestling fan, the OG to be honest. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But I've been there.
I saw Jericho debut, so whatever. You were like 10. It's fine.
Yeah, but he was.
I'll bite my lip.
They were flying to WrestleMania and shit when they were little. I seen the picture with you and AJ Lee.
Dude, do you have there's a picture of me in front of a wall mural of Bray Wyatt. And it's me, Reba, and Joe. We were just big fans, and we were like had the shittiest seats, and we just outside took a picture in front of the wall. That was the closest we were getting to the whole thing.
Unbelievable.
And I still have that picture. But
Full circle.
regardless, so we thought empty arena match style. We'll do it. And then I was like, I'm going to cut a promo and we'll show the crowd. That was the part I was excited about.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how I am. And
I was watching it at Harm's Way practice.
that's awesome.
I was literally watching your stream because we were writing for the next record, and then we stopped because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew what the fuck, no, actually, it was it was practice for Europe. We were going to Europe,
That rules.
and it got canned that same time period. That was such a crazy.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. I'm really pleased with how I was really. It was our people all put it together too. Our squad of people.
I couldn't believe you pulled it off.
Unbelievable.
And especially like getting, for those of you who don't know, getting money out of labels is almost as difficult as
Impossible.
getting a fucking all access pass to this shit. But
Oh.
it is
hard,
It is
yeah.
impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
We didn't
happen.
get one that leads to the A&R guy who signed us and helped us with a lot of that stuff. Though we didn't really spend a lot of money doing that, to be honest, because a lot of it was, some of it fed back into the show and
It was the tour, right?
But that guy, that's why I'm still with that guy. And like as he left Roadrunner and started the thing we're on now, I left right with him.
Yeah.
We're the only band who left right with him.
I mean, that shit
because
matters, you know?
Loyalty.
I have a funny anecdote
know?
about him. I saw him at
He's here.
Is he here?
Yeah.
I saw him at the Turnstile Grammy thing, and I heard. I was looking at him. I was like, "Oh, that's the guy that signed Code Orange." And I hear as I'm passing by, I signed Code Orange.
Again.
I think that's what he was talking about.
He signed us, Turnstile, Gojira, Trivium. He was Slipknot's guy. He signed.
Oh, he's a legend.
He's a legend, and not just that, he was there for us.
Yeah.
And so we're getting a little dirt sheet with all of it, but this is the guy with us at Roadrunner. We're now on a new label called Blue Grape Music. he went and started that label with the founder of Roadrunner Records, a guy named Case Wessels, who also owned Blue Great Merch.
When are the shirts coming back?
We're working on it.
That's sick.
I might have some blanks I can donate for measurement's sake.
We're doing it right.
All right.
And I've been really trying to be adamant.
Cool.
And I think that you should be involved for sure in some
me
way
know,
because you're
HardLore
a
Blue Group.
big time. You brought all that shit back.
That's
That's
true.
a fact. I mean, that can be traced.
That is
you know?
a fact.
It's a fact.
I 100%.
So,
Out for Blood.
well, I want to talk about WWE stuff.
Oh yeah, please.
That was
please,
in
absolutely.
between Out for Blood, right? Working with Bray.
We did one before
first
during
one.
Forever.
Oh yeah, you did.
And then
the
we
first
did one recently, and we played on WWE twice.
Yeah.
One,
Bleeding was NXT Brooklyn.
and then we did Underneath.
That was another day where I just teared up.
Yeah.
You know.
Was that the one with Alistair at the time?
Yes.
Yes.
And Brennan from Incendiary,
Right.
my brother.
I remember
Love
that.
that guy.
And then you did the Fiend
Yeah.
intro, right? That's what it's called.
The original,
whatever it's
his
called, but
theme.
it's his theme.
I had a name for it that I just think deleted.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And we had art for it that they certainly deleted.
Yeah.
And we got a cartoon scratch drawing as that was sitting on our Spotify.
Oh,
know
you
me.
hated that, dude. Yeah.
Every day I was like, just I'd rather give it the song away than have to look at it anymore.
And then they took it down, right?
I didn't ask for that, but they did. Yeah.
Interesting.
What was? I mean, let's talk
How'd that
full
come together?
circle. Yeah, like what was that like?
I messaged him.
Really?
He followed us. I messaged him and I just said, "We're the ones." I knew he was off TV because I have I followed that stuff pretty deeply like my entire life essentially. So I knew he was off TV. I knew he would be repackaging for sure. Like it just made sense.
Yeah.
Just listening to Meltzer and shit. And so then I fucking used my Meltzer knowledge, messaged him and was like, "We're the ones, brother." And he said, "Oh, well, I'm talking to XYZ, but like if that doesn't really work out, like I love your guys' shit." And I was like, we the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so, and
We the
then
best.
we got in there, and we
Yeah.
just went and recorded it guerrilla style. Both of them.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Both songs we recorded with no permission
Wow.
and with
Oh.
no budget for free.
Fuck.
Will Yip recorded that one for free.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Who's
about it,
also
brother.
a wrestling guy.
I just called him. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, we did a lot of it on the computer, and he did the drums. He plays the drums on the song.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah.
Good drummer. Will
Crazy
Yip.
drummer.
See, the man's a savant.
Yeah.
Secret weapon.
Yeah, that's outstanding. What was
You opened the door for me, I would say,
To what?
for wrestling themes, dude.
Oh, themes?
You know?
Now, I love that you're doing themes, man.
That's fun.
I'm very proud of you.
what
with
was
that. It's
what was
killer.
Hunter like?
Oh, dude.
God.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
I have
right?
pictures of me and Hunter in the ring.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I used to stand in line to meet Hornswoggle. I have stood in line and paid $150 to meet Hornswoggle.
$150
To get
for
to
Swallow?
Access.
Wow.
You ever been to Access? It ain't cheap.
Wow.
And I've stood in front of pictures of these people. I never went to a wrestling show closer than like the 200s until I was doing it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
He
I went.
just looked me dead in the eye and said Hornswoggle. and it
I
fucked
waited
me
to
up.
meet these people. I would like.
Yeah, no.
I say that to say I took in every moment of it, but I've met him like 4 or 5 times now.
Is it crazy every time?
The first time was awesome because we were at this practice space practicing, waiting for him, and he fucking shows up and watched us practice, and he's just and like my best friend Tyler, who has a band called Pain Clinic from Pittsburgh, check him out. He's really the OG of this wrestling
Yeah.
shit. Everybody you hear, even including my brothers right here, using the lingo, they don't know, but it can't. He was using the lingo, and it spread like wildfire to me, which spread like wildfire to everybody. Now we all use it, and we got even wrestlers. Literally wrestlers in the fucking shit.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. But I want to give him a shout out. So I brought him. I called him the day before. Dude, you got to get down here right now.
Yeah.
He like called off work, and he's just like standing behind Triple H, like trying to like smell him or whatever. and he hears the guy go to Triple H and go, "Oh, and we could change anything you need to want." And H just goes,
He says it's fucking perfect.
"It's fucking perfect."
And he's rocking out.
And he's rocking out. And I was like, "Oh,
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
And then we got to go to him in your house, no fans. So we're just hanging with him the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's saying to Goldman, "Do this." And Goldman's like, "Fuck yeah." And he like does it on the camera. And he
Oh,
said,
yeah,
he
yeah,
called
yeah.
Goldman. He's like, "You kind of look like Brock." He said that to Goldman.
We've been saying that for years.
Triple H said that.
Wow.
So It was a dream. And then I sat in the ring with him, and my friends were like TMZing the pics and like, getting all the secret
Yeah.
pics. And he told me about how to keep my hair wet during the set.
What is it?
Which is
Now
Just do it, dude.
everyone's
Come
gonna
on.
do it. Here's what it is. It's called the worker spray. You get a little bottle.
I've
You put
seen
water. You put baby oil.
Yeah, baby
Then you
oil.
get the leave-in conditioner. So you water baby oil, leave-in conditioner, and it'll stay wet. And that was, I had one chance to ask one question, and I said, Hunter, how do you keep it wet? Because you're doing 40-minute Broadway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's how
people don't know. So I was a water bottle.
water.
guy.
Yeah,
And
living the wrong
dude,
lifestyle.
it's 6 minutes in, it just goes.
yeah. It just dry because you, dude. I actually read a Reddit Ask Me Anything with Seth Rollins, and someone asked, "How does Roman keep his hair wet?" And all Rollins said was bottle of water. So
Work.
Well, I'll do some.
no. I believe
I'll
you.
do some funny bleeps.
I'm
over,
so
over,
yeah,
over
yeah, the bleeps. The
yeah.
bleeps will be good. We'll keep it.
Roman can do whatever he wants to do. And if the water might work for him because God's looking.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
God says, you
He's-
go ahead and you stay
We,
wet.
we,
yeah.
We've said it on the show before that Samoans are actual gods on this earth.
Dude, he's got that beautiful, but H I knew was putting shit in there, and I just had to find out, and he told me, man. And ever since then, I have my spray bottle right over there.
That's so sick.
Me, Max, Max, and Dom, we all say we're wet guys. Because there's a lot of dry guys
I'm a
on
definite
stage.
wet guy, but I was always water bottle.
If you're dry,
That guy.
Dry-
you're not a top.
You
You're
look
not
like-
on top.
I'm sopping
you
wet,
look like
dude.
Marv getting
Yeah.
electrocuted.
100%.
Straight up.
Dry guys, to me, I'm disgusted.
Yeah, no,
I
agreed.
see you go up there dry. Like, you need to be wet before you get up.
Yeah. You know,
I'm
the
wet
first-
now.
First person
I'm
I
wet
ever
right
saw-
now for the
Yeah,
interview.
yeah.
First person
We're
I
both wet
ever
for the interview.
I ever saw do that was Human Furnace, and I was so young. I was like, "What the fuck is this like metal? Why is his hair wet?" Yeah, I didn't get it.
Oh man, that
But
right.
now I do.
I took many years to figure it out, but yeah, I don't know how we got to the spray, but
Okay, so big jump then.
Mm-hmm.
I would say thematically and aesthetically from Forever to Out for Blood.
to underneath. We had
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Underneath.
See, I disagree.
gone.
I disagree. When the shock and awe for Out for Blood
Mm-hmm.
to me didn't make sense because I felt like it was a natural continuation of Underneath.
I didn't say musically.
Oh,
Thank you.
oh, aesthetically, you
So
feel?
aesthetically.
But
Oh,
no,
yeah,
but
for sure.
to his point, most people would say what you just said is true. Like most people feel that that's a really strange jump.
and that's the thing, and I
No,
don't
yeah.
get that.
No, that song could have been on that record.
Totally
That song,
agree.
yeah. For
it's
sure.
just I guess I give people one, if you don't like the song, I completely get that, respect. But what I'm saying is, I guess because of what we talked about earlier, we talked about having a whiteboard and a photo board and notebooks. I see everything as one big thing on one big wall.
Mm-hmm.
So when we did that song, to me, I felt like, well, this is clearly people are going to understand this is one thing we do. And we took that one thing up a notch, and we're even aesthetically, we're taking a certain thing to the end of its road.
Right.
Even the lyrics are tongue in cheek, not in saying that I don't love the song. I love the song, but it's almost goading. It's like, you know what you want to do, cut our throat. You know what I mean? So that was, a miscalculation in this way. Nobody understood that at all.
They will.
But I love the song. Dude, when we play the song live, it fucking
Dude,
goes insane.
that's what I'm saying.
You saw it.
When I saw it, it was the craziest thing. At Aftershock, it was insane.
We just don't have currently the platform for it.
Sure.
So our shit was still going out to the same fish bubble, and that bubble does not want to hear it.
That
They
bubble
truly don't want to hear it.
That
You know what I
bubble,
mean?
we're in this weird age where the bubble we're talking about here's a thing that they don't directly relate to, and they go, okay, fuck everything they've ever done that I loved an hour ago.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, we definitely got some of that, but again, I think we're kind of built for it because behind the scenes and in front of the cam, both ways, we've been dealing with this shit forever. It's
true.
There ain't been a year in my life I wasn't dealing with this shit. Some of it's my fault, some of it's not, some of it's this, that. But when that happened, it just feels like, oh, this is just my life. This is just what always happens. Like, not in a positive way, but I wasn't crushed. I was hurt because I felt like we had given these people enough art that they could see that and understand like where it fit in and be supportive. Because I see other things that to me are so much softer, so much weaker, so much more processed, so much more underthought that everyone's fine with.
Yeah.
Not only are they fine with, they're doing front flips off the stage to it this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it confuses me. But it's also, I've always been like, I don't think I'm fully in touch with that, whatever that thing is. You know,
That changes every day.
Yeah.
you know?
and I follow my compass, and we did Out for Blood because we knew what we're going to do now. We knew what we would do in between, and there was a plan. And but at the same time, if you don't like the song, I 100% respect that. But we were pulling like to our thoughts on the song. We're like, we love fucking Dragula. We love fucking Walk even.
Yeah.
We want just like an ass beater, like anthemic to a point
Upbeat.
song that doesn't have like a
Pounding
pop punk
anthem.
chorus like a lot of this
Yeah,
shit has that people are cool with.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the sound now that everyone's cool with.
Right.
To me, that's disgusting. So what
Agreed.
so what I thought, what we had done, I was like, we walked the right line like this, and then it's okay. It happens.
This coincides with another lineup change, a big one, where you come from behind the kit. I mean, it had already happened.
I did that for underneath.
But we
Underneath,
skipped
yeah.
it, is what I'm saying.
For
so
sure.
along in this period, I'm going to lump the two together just for conversation's sake. You come from behind the kit. Shade is full on.
Keeman.
Dom had been joined. For a
My
minute.
man.
Yeah.
That's my boy. dude.
My best friend.
So it's a major. I would say that's a major change.
Yeah, I stepped up front.
You stepped up.
Well, the record we made, so we played some shows over here supporting bands, and they didn't go well. And we were like, why? Like, the music makes sense. And I knew that for that fan, it was the right music. But we couldn't connect. And we were too far away, and they just couldn't understand it. And so
Wow.
that factored into it. And then we started making, for instance, like Swallowing the Rabbit Hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, motherfucker, I can't drum this barely, and I can't drum and sing it for sure.
Yeah.
And if I do, I can practice and get myself there, I believe, but the show's gonna suck.
Yeah.
So then Shade was like, dude, step up, let's go. This is what we do. Like, it was Shade's idea. He was like, let's shake it up. Like, it's time. And I was like, oh God, I don't know how. Because I had
That's a
done some
big
guest
one.
spots and just done a really bad job. But then I figured it out. And as you'll see tonight, I genuinely feel I can do it now.
No, you're
I feel I can do it.
engaging.
You seem like a natural.
You're a front man.
Thank you.
You were a behind the kit frontman for a long time.
And it took me a little bit. I feel like the period was brief when we first started doing it to connect to those things and to bring my personality back. But now I feel so myself up there, or like at least the stage version of myself. I feel so like free. I just feel like I could. It feels so good, Especially shows like how this one's going to be. It's really fun.
That's really good.
We're at new album.
Yeah.
You got Max Portnoy on drums.
Yeah,
Drum royalty.
yeah.
Is he dope?
He's the greatest kid of all time. I would have never put him in.
Greatest kid of all time. That's a magnet on someone.
So we had another kid who's a great kid. Shout out to him, but he just wasn't really. He was drowning.
Okay.
And he felt very. I could tell he was really stressed out, and he wanted to stick in there for us. He's a good kid, but I gave him the door. I was like, brother, it's all right, because we were practicing a lot, and we were taking it really serious, and it's life or death to me. So
That life is not for everybody.
he was like, dude, he was like eating McDonald's once a day, just smoking like a pack of cigs, and he was just like, I'm you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But again, I love the kid. He's awesome, and he's a killer drummer.
Great drummer.
Oh, burp, my bad. So then, called Max and got the names from Jay Weinberg from Slipknot, my good
Legend.
friend. And Max
Another reason the show.
Thanks,
exists.
Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
helped us out a lot in many ways, and he's the fucking greatest. We put him in a mask to give him some test and see how it went. Give him a little test.
Sure.
See how it cut. Didn't want to put him in a weird position.
Yeah.
Didn't want to put ourselves in an exposed position. And now he's free. So
I like that.
The Mudman is
Yeah.
free.
he's born.
And I know there's some like deep lore in there
Yeah.
for you for why you do that.
Nobody cares.
All right, tell us about your new record.
We're still working on. When's this coming out?
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
Could come out next week. Come out in 2 weeks. Let's promote the new album. Let's say it's
There's
coming
an
out
announced
soon.
album that has not been announced at this time that will be announced in a couple weeks with a video and everything.
Oh, perfect.
What we've done thus far is we put out 2 songs that are kind of like some red meat shit to get over here and rock and kind of show a little bit of the underbelly of what it is we're doing. Not again. And we're going to really start to roll out the vision and the full vibe of it. There's always a plan, you know. So moving on to the next chapter.
So that being said, are you already thinking about what's next?
We got a whole plan to do. There's a lot coming from us. I mean, we've been working on the same shit for 3.5 years or so. So we got.
Did writing for this was during COVID?
Yes.
Wow.
We started what we're doing after the third live stream. And did
Really?
it all the way till now.
Okay.
Till we put it out.
You've been cooking.
Since 2020,
Wow.
2021. And yeah, we've maybe made some mistakes in terms of we've been on the shelf a lot because of that.
Sure.
Because I guess the art element to me is really important. And sometimes it's like maybe that's not that important anymore in general.
I
At
disagree,
least
but-
it is important in music. I don't know if in heavy music necessarily people really care. They just want some shit. But I do it the way I do it. I'm going out on my fucking shield, and that's it. We do it the way we do it.
Love it.
What are your thoughts on album sequencing?
I mean,
It's everything.
I live and die for
Yeah.
it.
Interesting.
I'd
Because
rather-
there's a whole school of thought now that I'm sure you and Will have talked about, where people listen and digest music with playlists so much that
You got to front load the A side.
that you have to front load the A side, or that it doesn't matter at all.
We don't-
You can obviously do it for the vinyl. That matters forever. But very few people consume music with vinyl.
We don't do what people do.
Yeah.
Any which way. Never have, never will. So when there's a plan, we carry the plan out for better or for worse. And we go first.
They'll cut a promo on me right now, man.
We go first. And
You really do.
And everybody, you know,
I remember when Russ came out before Disharmony, you were like, brother, always go first. Because Russ killed, you know?
I love that album. I like both those albums. I think Disharmony's a cool album too. It's my least favorite one, but I really do like it. I mean,
It's the hardest one.
dude, fucking
I think-
Dom wears the Disharmony shirt like every
Gaining
day.
Purpose is harder.
You think so?
Yeah.
Does he really?
I love the
Gangster.
Gaining Purpose record a lot. And I want to say one other thing. When everyone was shitting on them, who was still rocking with them at the time?
100%. JM and BL.
Really, just us.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So,
Goodbye.
I mean, fuck all y'all for that.
Let's hit him with some.
Let's do some
favorite
generals.
questions.
Let's do some so, in terms of general questions we ask, one thing I've been interested lately, I like to ask fellow mosh scientists a few off top favorite breakdowns of all time.
You know what I've been listening to is I've been right now, so it's on my mind, is I've been listening to E-Town like nonstop, dude.
Preach, brother.
Brother, I'm listening
playing
to battle lines like every fucking day before the set. I usually have like a fucking.
They're playing Pittsburgh soon. I saw.
That's our thing.
That's
So-
duh. We didn't even talk about
Yeah,
that.
let's talk about
we
Codes
put
World.
together a fest called Codes World, and the E-Town thing came about. We put the fest together, and they just commented and said, "Can we play?" And so I hit up Ant, and we just texted.
Duh.
I mean, he's literally the coolest guy.
Hey, he's
ever.
amazing.
I texted. We figured it out like that. No agents or anything. We figured it out, which I try not to do as much because it gets me into situations
It's
where
always tricky.
it gets me into situations often where like I end up so confused how I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to do something for you, brother. I'm not trying to screw you.
Yeah,
like,
no.
But then communication gets weird, so I'm trying to let our people do what they do now.
One of my favorite bands, E-Town Concrete.
Yeah.
No hyperbole whatsoever.
I mean, that fucking record.
Which one?
I'm talking the Renaissance, which I know
You're
it's
a
not
Renaissance man?
If you're not, then like, it's like as if,
It's the breakout. It's the I would say it's the commercial success.
dude, it fucking rocks.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
And I want to do the Josta part at our thing so bad. I'm going to put that out there
Just
right
do
now.
it.
I'm doing the Josta part of Battle Lines. We need somebody to step up in the El Nino part as well.
I really like, So Many Nights is their big ballad. I like that when they play it, he says, this is the hardest song of all time. And then, boom, da-dum.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
Let me shout out a local group that, for us, like when we're kind of constructing those sort of parts, like we pull probably from now at this point, definitely from stuff more from our area or like our purview. There's a band called Enemy Mind who are like I guess you'd call it beatdown, even though I don't like the way that word
It's
is
not
used.
a real word.
Yeah.
The shit's so fucking hard, and it is also technical. But I mean, it's the hardest shit of all time. So if you're looking for like the kind of hard parts that I particularly like, there's different forms. But if we're going just full fighting, then that would be.
Mikey Neg just cited Enemy Mine as one of the
Them
as
guys,
one of the best.
them guys got put on all
They're
that,
down.
yeah, to some Pittsburgh shit. I think Greenfield Mike sings on Gridiron song.
There you go.
So
There you go.
yeah, that's
Those are good
I love
answers.
that band.
Yeah, those are good answers.
There's so many. I mean, I
Yeah,
love it
of
all. I
course.
love weird stuff. I love hard stuff. I love art stuff. I love rock music. I love hip hop. I like a lot of different things, you know. So try to mix it together.
You're a big Nine Inch Nails guy.
Yeah.
Has there been any conversing with Daddy Reznor?
Nah, man, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I know, but you never know.
We have a I'm a giant.
Have you ever reached out in any way?
No, because I feel one that's SAWFT soft, and I don't want to necessarily be like, hey, sir, like, please, daddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well-
yeah.
But at the same time, if he ever showed a lick of interest,
Yeah.
I'd be at his front door with
But the
roses.
thing is, I don't like. Have you heard the Halsey record that he produced? Dude, it's unbelievable.
It's awesome.
You don't even like Nine Inch
I
Nails.
barely like Nine Inch Nails, and I love that.
So what I get from that, what I take from that is that you like. You like the kind of worlds they paint, but maybe you like the art of like something like a Halsey or something more.
What I can tell, they kept the vocals, deleted everything, and just wrote music under it, and I love that.
That's such a cool way to do it. I agree. Me and Bo here, we would die for Reznor.
I know.
I think he's a true
I think he's
genius.
I love his film scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love him.
I mean, The Fragile is like probably my favorite at this point. My favorite record like of all time. I mean, I listen
All
to
time.
It's up
Huge,
there. I mean,
huge.
I used to be Downward Spiral guy. Till
I
then,
like Downward
Yeah.
Spiral, a
which
lot.
rocks, and that's
Yeah.
definitely more accessible. But
Most people would say that's the one, I'm sure.
what's up? Hey, almost done. Damn, man, it's
okay.
kind of cool. It's very like you know, celeb vibes. Everyone's coming to the door.
Yeah.
No, but I fucking love Nine Inch Nails. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're my favorite band of all time.
I mean, I've
stop.
never heard a band sound better, ever, live.
Sounds
ever.
so good. Got to work with Chris Verena on Underneath, who was the original drummer, programmer, keyboardist for Pretty Hate Machine and Downward Spiral.
There you go.
Gave us all the samples. We have the closer samples and shit. Or like to just play with.
Yeah.
Not to do anything with. But just to fuck around with.
Yeah.
And they're from Pittsburgh area.
Ah.
So they're from like 2 hours from us. So
Very cool.
one of my best friends, Colin, like his dad grew up with different Colin from Eternal Sleep,
Yeah.
Colin Bennington.
Yeah.
Grew up with you know, him and stuff, so his dad. So okay.
What,
well, there's a camera.
She's fine.
Hey Reba,
Hey, Reba.
love you too.
She doesn't
Ask
mean
him
it.
the golden.
Before that, the hoodoo, the COA. This is a very important question
Colin of Arabia gave us this
because
question.
you've done a
I
lot
haven't
of guys.
seen him in a while. He buried us the best on a picture before, to the point where I cried laughing. Like years ago.
He's a pro barrier.
Yeah,
but then,
yeah.
But then
awesome.
he'll tell you in your face. He's like, "Hey, this is why you suck," and I'll be like, "I
well,
know, sir. You're right."
He always helped when we would play shows in Boston and stuff. He would always be supportive of us.
Right.
So
That's
I have
good.
nothing but respect for him. Full.
He's the man.
But it was a picture of me and Joe. Like, we worked out with this girl, and she'd like posted like a picture, and it was like, and he's like, "Is this the before or the after?"
That's good.
I was like, God, he's funny.
He gave us a question
Yeah.
called "Who do you do?"
I thought for a second for me, I was like, oh no.
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay, just
so
in
it's
general.
so it's just like when you're on stage, when you're doing your thing, and I suppose from you we should get two. We should get a drummer one and a singer one.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Porcel from Youth of Today and Hatfield
Oh, shit.
when I'm playing
I don't
guitar.
know. I'm stressed already.
He
You
does.
can pick whoever. You can pick however many you want.
Yeah, it
you've,
doesn't
you've
matter.
done 50 guys.
You
From
tell
start
me.
to finish, you
I
know?
really think you are good at knowing things like that about other people. You know,
I definitely see.
Yeah, but
Reznor.
you know,
Tell me who I do.
I don't
Tell
know.
me, man. Don't be scared.
I
Tell
don't
me.
know.
Who do I do?
As
You've
a front
seen
man?
me. You know it. And if
Who
it's
does he do
nobody,
as a
that means
drummer?
I'm one of a kind.
As a drummer,
Yeah, that's tougher because he had such a style, you know, with the singing.
Under Oath, homie,
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
I had to give it to you. You know?
Brother
I don't
me.
know.
Brother me softly.
I don't know. So maybe you're one
No
of a
diss
kind.
to him, but I
You
mean,
tell me.
I'm not
What you
redheaded.
do when you're drumming? There's no one who you're like, I love this style.
See, you guys start like what you pulled before you liked harder shit. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
either.
know Archers of Loaf, bro. I don't know what the fuck that
I
is.
love Archers of Low.
I know you do for a fact.
We weren't pulling that on stage, but
Okay.
we did cover the song
Yeah.
for the Toxic Breed
I know.
Funhouse. Remember Toxic Breed Funhouse?
Yeah,
bro?
we talk about it all
Yeah.
the time. R.I.P.
Better
Well,
times before this shit was fucking mainstream. Am I right?
Yeah, dude.
Right or wrong?
Agree.
When this shit was real.
Oh yeah. So you
Who do you do?
So you do Aaron Gillespie? Is that what you're saying?
It's a mixture of Gillespie and trying to think. Garth. No. Drummer wise, I genuinely could not give you an answer. Singer wise, I definitely watch people and try to obviously do a little bit of trend stuff. I have a little bit of a trend
There's some
stance.
Trent. There's some Phil.
The mic
Because there's
stand.
not a lot of good stances, especially for my body size, and I found
You
that
are-
kind of posed out stance that works for me.
Yeah.
Phil, I try to copy some Phil shit.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of. I mean, I'll just watch like when we're doing festivals. I'll just watch like all my favorite bands playing those old festivals. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
classic
Dynamo.
I mean, the
Oh
fucking-
yeah, and just pick stuff up to say. I've definitely literally did the Phil line like I do it all the time. Don't just fucking stare at me. Don't you
Yeah.
fucking stare at me. You know
The
what I mean?
fucking Nine Inch Nails Woodstock set is
That's a great one.
possibly the greatest live set of all time.
I actually watched a lot of their sets in the daytime to try to like make our daytime set better. To try to like learn like, okay, what can we do like that can translate this better?
Yeah.
You know, so I try to watch I try to sometimes watch bands that they're not best.
Oh, interesting.
To try to figure
Makes
out
sense.
just figure out like little avenues.
Smart.
I mean,
Very smart.
I don't want to say just like the classic people, but and then of course like I want to say there's like hardcore frontmen that I've learned. I've learned tons from Scott Vogel. I've
king.
learned
Who asked?
tons from everyone we've toured with. We tour with Bane all the time. I would always learn from Bedard. I would learn from. We tour with Madball. You learn from Freddie Madball. Tour with Converge. I would learn from Jake. You know,
Yeah,
there's
that makes
you. I learned a ton of stuff from you. Oh, 100%. Learned many things from you. About many things, but about being a frontman. Never learned a thing from James because he won't say a word to me after 10 years because he hates me. Something about my aura he does not like. But a lot of other people we've learned. You know, I learn shit all the time.
Those were good. That was good.
Name them, you know.
Yeah,
Josta, did shit with Josta. I'm watching, I'm learning, and then I try to. Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, I definitely learned a good headbang style from Phil where you can get less hurt, which is weird because he fucked his back up.
Yeah, he
But where you
Back,
kind
not
of
his neck.
vulnerable
Yeah.
back
face
surgery.
pose and you use the fucking hand.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go up and down.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's less, you can get more out of that.
Full upper body.
I
Full
like
upper
the
body.
I like the
Yeah, that's good.
that one.
Oh yeah, I do a lot
Sure,
of
that's
this.
not a great.
Yeah.
I do a lot of this.
That's
And
a good one.
I also try to. I try to do like. I try to use my. I have a strange body, you know, or not
What do
strange.
you mean?
You're large.
I'm
You're
long,
long,
lanky.
dude.
I'm tall. I'm big.
But you're beefy now. You're not as lanky as you
Oh
used
yeah,
to be.
you filled out.
I'm not. I'm not this guy, but I'm
No.
two in the 200 club. You know, I'm 205.
That's huge.
Yeah, but so am I. That
You're
doesn't mean-
cruiserweight.
People don't know I'm big.
You're big.
They think they
really
can play
don't.
with me. They don't
No,
know
no,
I'm big.
you're
you
big.
get taller every time I see you.
Really?
Speaking of food,
Let's
Oh,
do
man.
it. Oh, you're gonna hate this. Fuck.
No, I love it. Do you know the Golden Archers question?
Yes.
We like to ask, you know, you're driving down the road, Code Orange is flying in the bandwagon or the bus. On this day, your driver lets you stop. There's a magical sign
They
that
never
has-
let you stop, and never forget when Justice told them, "Pull over, or we're gonna fuck you up." That's
Yeah.
the story that I had always heard. Justice will tell me if that's true, but what I remember is, I don't know. They were touring, and this changed my mind about the whole thing. It was like they were sitting there and they had enough.
Yeah.
And they told the driver, "You pull over, or we're gonna fuck you up." And then he started going to McDonald's. I don't know if that's true, Justice, my buddy, but I think it is. It adds up.
It's deserved.
the thing that's insane is one of the last times we were there, we had this guy Renfield, awesome Hungarian.
The flick,
Yeah, no, he was.
the shitty flick with Nick Cage.
Dude,
It's so bad.
It's pretty bad. He sang in a band that was all like vampire themed. His name was Renfield. Anyway, we asked him if we could go to the Eiffel Tower the first night in Paris, and he was like, "Of course, like I'm the driver of wherever you want to go."
They work for us.
And drove us, parked illegally at the Eiffel Tower.
That rocks.
Anyway,
That doesn't
we all-
happen to me ever.
You guys are Dracula. You know?
One of our
that's right.
drivers
Yeah,
tried to
apparently.
fight me in the parking lot over this shit one
Is
time.
that true?
these are familiar.
Wow.
What question? Hit him.
So what's the place that's making you put a gun to your driver's head and say, "You better stop, motherfucker. We're gonna fuck you
You know
up."
where we eat all the time? Not in Europe. Are we talking Europe?
Yeah,
or
no, home. He
Home.
can't. Fuck
U.S.
We eat a lot of Chipotle.
Yeah, dude, that's okay.
I get it. I get it.
I feel you hate it.
No, I do, but I get it.
Because
He hates
I
it.
can't. I love fast food. I really
Reba's vegetarian. You know?
I also can't function physically eating like shit all the time.
Yeah.
I just can't. I really want to, and I had a period where I could when I was younger, and I burnt the card out. And then something started happening where like I'm feeling the stomach acid. I'm feeling it.
27.
Yeah, it's
It's-
27.
Everything
It hits. So honestly, when I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was like 20, as soon as I started doing that, all of a sudden everything moved around and shit couldn't hit right anymore. It was like it fucked my tolerance
Your
up.
bowels.
So then, we do a lot of Chipotle because me and Joe, we just eat a lot of like steak, vegetables,
Yeah.
rice, shit like that.
You can eat good, you can eat bad, you can eat clean, whatever.
But I love McDonald's.
sick of
I love McDonald's, dude.
What's your
I just
McDonald's
can't.
order?
What's the order?
I'm just getting probably triple cheeses, double cheeses, now triple cheeses,
How many
some
triple
fries. I mean, I could easily eat 3.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's your-
finally.
There's no
That's
bitch.
your-
There's no bitch in my blood. I will
Post
eat
gym,
3.
my post gym is 3 triple cheese,
Yeah.
6 or 10.
And you can
nuggets,
take the buns off if you're trying to be a good boy.
I guess.
You can.
I've done it, and then I'm probably gonna go more because I'm gonna need more patties.
Yeah.
Goldman's gonna eat a lot of patties.
Is he?
Goldman's gonna eat some. Whatever you'll put in front of him, he can get through.
My man.
There's not like a limit. It's just like his card is the way his bank account is set up.
Oh, okay.
His card is declined at a certain point
Oh, okay.
because he's not going to spend $1 million on triple cheeses.
Sure.
But if you keep giving them to them, he will keep eating them. He can eat as much as anyone I've ever met.
That's a great answer.
And my boys back home, I'm from Pittsburgh, so a lot of my buddies back home are some big brothers, and they always say they can eat. And that's a good compliment. They always
is
say,
a good
Joe and I, they can eat.
Well, the Big Mac also invented in Pittsburgh.
There we go. There we go.
So you're royalty,
Wow.
you know?
How
Love
about
it.
So thank you for supporting Ron.
I love the Big Mac. It's delicious.
It's a classic American sandwich, frankly.
Of course. And I know the fast food HardLore gimmick. I was anticipating this,
You did great.
I like
Yeah,
some
you did
Wendy's
very
as
well.
well. I like some Taco
Wendy's
Bell as well.
rock.
PA Wendy's is different.
Sometimes you guys will like Jack in the Box and
No,
shit like that.
never.
What's the one you like that's questionable? There's one.
None.
Like Hardee's or something?
No.
No?
All right. Just be careful.
I will.
We had Wingstop.
Oh, dude. UK Wingstop, not bad.
I had Nando's yesterday.
Fuck. you.
Cheeky bastard.
Only thing I don't like though is my friends at home will be like, let's get Nando's at home.
No.
It's bad at home.
No.
It's shot
I'm
at
like,
home.
well, the
same.
reason, no offense to the UK, but the reason we get it here is because we have a lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
at
we
home.
have everything else that's
really
open
do.
late.
A lot of good
We
coffee.
go there because we have to go
Good
there.
coffee
fucking ice.
anywhere. Ice in
You
the
could even
drinks.
maybe make that meal at home. Here, I don't even think they sell the ingredients.
Is that your bag? Does she have the same bag as you? Anyway.
She might.
Maybe.
Sounds about right.
Well, this was a lovely chat.
Yes.
I really think we kind of scratched the surface here.
I would love to keep going into it further in the future. Anytime you want.
Post
or now. I don't
post
care.
album.
Yeah, there we go.
know?
Post.
Yeah, sure.
Post beep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Post.
Post album. Post bullshit. And I want to shout out some I like to shout out some like young bands, and I'm about to be done. I'm coming. They'll be all right. No one's gonna watch that shit anyway. It's all like 15-second shit. I'm coming.
Everybody's watching this one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all gonna be like gimmick.com, and it's gonna be like my shit all mixed up, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be a picture of me. And then everyone's gonna be mad at me.
Yeah.
So let's take this happy moment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Bands I like.
Yes.
Shouting out Codes World. Put a bunch of them on there.
Yep.
We got Vane, who, I think we put Vane on probably their first like real tour. Awesome story about them. We had a band we were friends with at the time, Lifeless. They dropped. I call Anthony from Vane. It was just like us. Can you be here next week? Yes. And they were there. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
how we became.
They get it.
My sister did their last album art with them, and they get it. They're fucking awesome. I'm good buddies with them.
Love
we
them.
got fucking my buddy's Pain Clinic from Pittsburgh. Please check them out. They're new, but my jiu-jitsu coach is playing bass. One of my training partners is playing guitar.
Check them out. It's gonna hurt me.
My best friend Tyler is singing, and this my other little friend Devin's playing on the drums as well. So check them out from Pittsburgh. Who else? Gridiron. Those are my close buddies. Known them for years. Pain of Truth. Just check them out. Like in the last
Gangster.
year or so, they're
Legendary.
awesome.
Yeah. Taking over the world.
Who else we got? Regulate. My the singer Sebastian is my buddy as well.
The best.
King 9. Shout out to them.
The best.
Love King 9. Love Dan. Who else we got? Name some other shit I might like.
Isn't is Stab Wounds?
Stab
on there?
Wounds.
Yeah.
They're from Ohio area.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they had little bands we were playing with back in the
Right.
day as
Right,
well.
right.
That band Vomit Forth, connected with
Oh
them.
my god, dude.
I just connected with the
Love
kid,
them.
not the kid, the grown man from Drain, the singer of Drain.
Sammy.
We got on the phone, and he
Beautiful
just
lad.
sent us a nice message that I didn't really expect. We got on the phone, talked for like an hour. Great kid, really
Nice man.
really happy to see. I'm again not kidding him. Just sent
Yeah.
great man.
Yeah.
And Really happy to see their success because he just seemed like, again, stylistically, obviously we're so different. Aesthetically, we couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
But when we talk, I felt the realness.
It's all there. Yeah.
And so respect to them. Who else can we shout out? Let's put some people over. Shout out to Twisting Tongues making their return. I don't know what the gimmick of the return is all the way. I don't what's revealed and all that, but there's a return. It's going down, and I believe there's going to be a bunch of shit. Harm's Way just did. I can't. No.
Yeah, no.
Harm's Way's doing stuff too. And
Harm's Way is a band.
I've been a big fan of Harm's Way basically since I met this guy, and he showed me him. So. Love every record Harm's Way's ever done. The blue one is my least favorite, as I've told you.
Is that true?
I love the blinded one.
Yes.
Blinded.
See, but
guess what? Still good though.
one of the hardest pits ever, though. Mind Control.
Great pit. Love that pit.
Hard as
Still
shit.
fucking great.
Thank you.
And the last one was great.
Yeah.
And the main first one is literally God level Hall of Fame.
Dude, are you kidding me?
Greatest. And I mean, the last one's fucking amazing too, honestly. Those are my two favorite.
Good.
That one and the last one.
Good.
And I like Rust as well, so who else? Anybody? I just want to listen. I don't get to do this a lot. I want to put people. There's a lot of good bands out there. A lot of bands I fucking hate. I will say that as well. We won't get into that.
Of course,
That's
but that's not.
that's
why
where my
we do
roads
it.
goes dark. you
That's
know?
what. That's like we avoid that because that's like not the purpose.
Exactly.
And that's also.
But of course we do too.
It's beneath
you know?
us.
Yeah.
We don't need
It's
to.
beneath.
just-
You guys put everyone over. It's a put over
That's
machine
not
over
true.
here.
That is not
Holy
accurate.
hell! I'm like, we're putting them over. We're putting everyone over. Everyone's invited to the over party. But either way, lots of good bands out there. Shit's stronger than it's ever been. It seems like
It is
nothing but love and respect. And yeah,
Beautiful.
gorgeous. Thank you so much, Jamie. For
Thank you.
joining us.
Have a lovely set this
Thank
evening.
you all for watching. Support Code Orange. There will be news about some things soon.
check out this Outbreak. We're gonna run this shit,
Well, that was.
I can't
weeks
wait
ago.
to
How
watch.
was Outbreak Fest?
dude. It was really hot.
Yeah. Bye.